Hello everyone and welcome to another Destiny 2 video. In today's video we're going to be talking about armor for Arc 3.0. In the last two iterations of 3.0 in both Void and Solar, we saw armor come back to its glory. While we saw new armor come in and shine, we also saw armor that was really almost forgotten about come back and make a pretty popular impact on the meta, right? So we saw things like Ashen Wake, Starfire Protocol, Dawn Chorus, and even the Graviton Forfeit all make a comeback. And we have to expect the same thing from the Arc when that happens on August 23rd. We have 3 rotations left for Lost Sector farming, so I thought I'd share my top picks for exotic armor for Arc 3.0. So without further ado, let's get right into it. Alright, so first we're going to talk about the Hunter. We're going to do 5 pieces for each class. And first we're talking about the Hunter. And the first on the docket is the Mask of Bakris. Now I know this is not an Arc per se piece. But remember, it replaces our status subclass dodge ability with a longer, faster moving shift that partially cloaks you during use. After shifting, your arc weapons deal increased damage to combatants for a short time, and you deal increased damage to all slowed or frozen combatants. With arc, we could see this really start to up the ante with that arc damage really starting to be something very powerful. So it's something to look out for. Maybe it's a little bit of a sleeper and not something you thought about with it being kind of a stasis piece, but keep an eye on it. It could become something very special. The second one I have on the list for the Hunter is the Assassin's Cowl. Again, not necessarily an arc straightforward piece, but I love some of these arc melee abilities, especially the slide and staff. It's great. Powered melee blows grant invisibility and restore a portion of health and shields. Finishers and final blows against your powerful targets increase duration of invisibility and the amount of health and shields restored. Now, we've seen what invisibility can do both in PvE and PvP, and if we can have that invisibility with our arc and our melee abilities, that's a pretty decent combo. Be on the lookout. Now, diving into some real arc generated exotics, the first on the list is Shinobu's Vow, and this exotic is already very powerful. It improves skip grenades and you gain an additional skip grenade charge. Skip grenades return energy when it damages enemies. We've already seen things like the Starfire Protocol build that are built around these grenades for these classes, and this is exactly that. It gets us an extra skip grenade. It also returns that energy to our grenade every time we cause damage with it. This could be huge for Arc 3.0, and you get it out of your vault, get it upgraded, because it could be something really powerful and really strong. You can see have a lot of use next season. Next on the list for the Hunter, we have the Raiden Flux, and this increases the damage and the duration of your Arc Staff Super. It increases your damage for every successive attack and excessive kill with it. So one attack will give you 13.5 increase in damage, 2 attacks 28.8 increase, 3 attacks 46.2 increase in damage. Those are some pretty big numbers, and it caps out at that 42.6, but almost 50% extra damage for the Arc Staff. And I'm hoping Arc Staff gets a pretty big rework for next season, and if it does, the Raiden Flux could be something very special. Last on the list for the Hunter, we have the Lucky Raspberry. And when I equipped this thing, I forgot how good it is. It's already really good. It increases our Arc Bolt grenades. It increases the chaining capabilities, and it has a chance to recharge it each time it deals damage, and a full chain always recharges it. This, again, focusing on the grenades like we've seen with the other builds, has huge potential for next season. You can see in the gameplay behind, I'm getting back my grenade already, and if we can make those chains even more powerful and even more damaging, the Lucky Raspberry could be very meta for next season for all the Hunters out there. Alright, moving on to the Titans, and of course we're going to start with Kuros of the Falling Star. Now, there's a lot of speculation saying that it's going to get nerfed. There's no way they nerf Cuirass of the Falling Star and Thunder Crash. The Cuirass of the Falling Star made Thunder Crash actually viable within the game. It greatly increases the Thunder Crash impact damage, and you gain an overshield that lasts longer the further you travel before striking a target. It's the only way you make it out alive. And this thing brought the Arc Titan back on the map, with Fist of Havoc just being kind of meh. So there's no way they do it. If you don't have it yet, get out and farm it, because it is awesome. Next on the list for the Titans, we have the Heart of Inmost Light chest piece. Using an ability, Grenade, Melee, or Barricade, empowers the other two abilities. Empowered means abilities have faster regen, Melees and Grenades do more damage, and Barricade have more hit points. We've already seen this chest piece get used in Void and Solar 3.0, and there's no reason why we won't see the same when Arc comes out. You can essentially see in the gameplay behind that you can just chain your abilities back to back to back to back. There's no downtime for them. One ability is always up, and it's always buffing the other two. If you don't have it yet, get out there and farm it. Alright, now on to a couple sleepers for the Titans out there. Something you probably haven't gotten out of your vault in a very long time. The Insurmountable Skull Fort. Kills with Arc melee abilities trigger health regeneration and restore melee energy. The Arc Titan is all about melee abilities, and this thing could see some serious gameplay if we have the ability to chain our melees even better within Arc 3.0. Get it out, dust it off, or go farm a better one. Whatever you need to do, I think you should have it in your inventory ready to go for next season. Another sleeper for the Titan, the Eternal Warrior. Now, I know Fist of Havoc isn't everyone's favorite super, but they gotta rework it, right? We need it to be better. We need it to be better. They gotta rework it. Eternal Warrior allows you to gain an overshield when you activate Fist of Havoc. Now, if you're able to gain this overshield, and it's an incredible overshield in the rework, why wouldn't it be great? Especially maybe in PvP. Talk about unkillable, right? And great ad clearance when you're doing PvP. It's something to look at. Let's call it that. What's something to look at? Keep on the horizon. Finally on the list for the Titan, we have the Dune Marchers. Dune Marchers already see a lot of play time. They increase your sprint speed. Sprinting builds up a static charge. After melee attacking an enemy, that charge will chain damage to nearby enemies. With the shoulder charge, these exotics are a lot of fun already, and if we're able to chain these arc abilities and create waves of arc energy that damage everything and anything around it, Dune Marchers could really be the exotic to go with. Something to look out for. Moving on to the Warlock, and one of my favorite exotics, the Getaway Artist. I call him my little shoulder buddy. He's in their battle with me, and the dynamic duo talent is exactly what it should be called, because holding your arc grenades into a supercharged Arc Soul shoulder buddy. The Arc Soul functions as an autonomous turret, and he wrecks. Now, he gets a little carried away sometimes and shoots things he shouldn't, but he is a little destroyer up there, and having high discipline on your builds means that he can be up 24/7 right there in the battle with you, destroying everything he wants to. If you don't have a good pair of Getaway Artists in your inventory, get them in there now. I love these things. Use them, have fun with them. Next on the list for the Warlocks, we have Stormdancer's Brace, and I have to give a huge shout out to CK for capturing this footage, because I myself don't have these. So tomorrow I will be in K1 Communion farming for this chest piece. I already tried to get some before, and within 5 runs I didn't get a single piece of armor. But this thing is a beast already. Each target you defeat with Storm Dance increases the damage you deal with it and refunds super energy when Storm Trance ends. This is essentially Shards of Galanor for an Arc Warlock. They're great. They give you about half of your super back each time, which makes you your ability to chain supers back to back to back just incredibly overpowered. If you don't have them yet, like me, get out there and do some farming and get these in your inventory for next season. Next on the list for the Warlock is the Crown of Tempest. Now, Xur was selling a God rolled one of these a few weeks ago, so hopefully you picked it up. But the Crown of Tempest allows your arc ability kills increase the recharge rate of your arc abilities and extend the duration of Storm Chance. And you can see on the gameplay that with this super up, I'm getting a ton of kills, and it just keeps going. It doesn't stop. This could see a lot of gameplay next season. Hopefully you got one from Xur, but if you didn't, well, get out there and start farming. Next on the list, we have the Mantle of Battle Harmony. Again, not necessarily an arc-focused exotic, but this thing gets a lot of play already within Solar and Void. Why can't it get a lot of play within Arc? Takedowns with weapons that have a damage type matching your subclass element grant you super energy. While your super energy is full, you instead gain a temporary bonus to weapon damage of the type matching your subclass. Now, if we have any potential to have some super high damage supers with within Arc, we could see Mantle of Battle Harmony really starting to take some gameplay. If we think about boss damage, if we can get our supers full, do a ton of weapon damage with Storm Chasers or whatever it might be, and then right before the damage phase ends, hit him with our super, why couldn't these be meta? Right? That's my thought, and that's why they're on the list, or that's why it's on the list, I should say. If you don't have one, I suggest you have it because you can use it on all three types, not just Arc. And last but certainly not least, we have the Geomag Stabilizers. These damaging targets with the Chaos Reach extends its duration. Probably one of the most run exotics with Arc to date. They're great, and you can see in the gameplay, your Chaos Reach can last a heck of a long time. I would see these getting a ton of gameplay next season. If you don't have them or you need a better roll, get out there and farm them. Alright? But that's going to do it for the video. Thank you all so much. Have a great day. If it helped you, please like, subscribe, and ring that bell for more content from myself. Thank you so much. Bye-bye.